Yes, it's Ahmed Sarwar. Welcome you all to Let's Know. Today we are going to discuss on child development and pedagogy. The topics are selected here: the concept on learning theories, Piaget theory, Vygotsky's theory, Kholberg'S moral development theory. These theories are very important. Many questions come from this theory in various teaching competitive exams. So let's start our discussion on these topics. Okay, first of all, let's start with learning theories. So here you see what is learning. Learning is the process of acquisition of knowledge which changes our behavior. Majorly, there are three theories. First of all is behaviorism, second is cognitism, and third is constructivism. Okay, here you see in behaviorism it is noted new behaviors or change in behaviors are acquired through association between stimuli and response. Yes, here you see that stimulus and response are essential. Okay, for learning, stimulus and response are essential, which is discussed by Skinner in his theory. And next one is cognitism. Okay, learning occurs through internal process of information. Next one is constructivism. We construct our own knowledge of the world based on individual experiences. Constructivism actually says that learning occurs through individual experience. So here in next slide, little bit more discussion will be there. Here you see behaviorism as that work is done by Skinner in this field. So here you see the concept of behaviorism arises from the work of Skinner. So here it is written Skinner, and the concept of operant conditioning. According to the theory, knowledge exists independently and outside of people. Here learners are just empty. Okay, learners are just empty and they need to be provided some experiences. They believe learning actually occurs when a new behavior is acquired through association of stimuli and responses. You must provide some stimulus and response. For example, here it is given study for a test and get good grade. Okay, here to get good grade you should study in the test. Okay, so implication by teacher, it can be here it is pointed out reward and punishment. Yes, it is stimulus response, and bonus point can be given verbal reinforcement such as very good, yes, excellent, these things. Okay, here is limitation. As you see, this is based on stimulus and response. So someone need to create some stimulus to get the response. Here scope of getting space for own development, that means creativity by the student is very less. He cannot think by himself. He need to be given some stimulus for his work. Okay, second one is cognitism. Here you see these are some points where this can be discussed. You can read out these things. This theory is based on the thought process which is responsible for the change in behavior. The learners processes the information they receive rather than merely responding to stimulus, that is, they can think what is happening. Change of behavior is simply the indication of learners through process. The learner's mind is just like a mirror, okay, which reflects the knowledge and the skill that they have gained. What is teacher use in constructivism? How he can apply? He can use the real world examples, okay, in classroom discussions, problem solving process, linking new concept with earlier known one, okay. Here you see first one, behaviorism. We have seen there must be stimulus and response, and next one, here we have seen that learner is empty and he must be provided some support, that experience, he will generate gather some experience, that he will gather knowledge, okay. Next slide, we can proceed. Constructivism, okay. We all construct our own perspective based on individual experience and knowledge. Here learning is based on how individual interprets and creates the meaning of his or her experiences. Knowledge is constructed by learner, since they since everyone has a different set of experiences, so this must be unique, that learning process must be unique, okay. Here you see teachers, here you can see teachers application. Here teacher can apply this by problem based learning, group or collaborate learning, a research project, okay. Next one, here the theory of cognitive development by Piaget. In earlier video we have also discussed about Piaget theory, so let us summarize and recall this one as to revise what actually Piaget said. Piaget says child creates a mental model of the world, okay. He disagrees in aspects such as intelligence is fixed, intelligent traits is fixed, he disagreed in it, and the factor in cognitive development are biological maturation and environmental influence. That means Piaget believed that cognitive development occurred and then learning happens. By development, learning happens. That means you can, in short form, you can take DL. That means development first, then learning. Cognitive development occurs first, then occurs learning. This is by Piaget. Here you can see his 4 stages. First one, sensory motor, as we have already discussed in earlier video. So sensory motor, which is from birth to 2 years. Then pre-operational stage, which is from 2 to 7 years. Concrete operational period or stage, which is 7 to 11 years. Formal operation, which is from 11 to adulthood. Here you see some characters which is shown at that particular stage, which makes that particular stage unique, okay. Sensory motor is the initial part, initial stage, so here is no experience or no knowledge about the thing which he observes, he touches, because it is just initial. He can sense, he use his sense organ so that he can understand. Okay, in that particular stage, what happens? Object permanence we have already discussed. The object is not present here, but he may think that it is present. So next one is recognition of ability to control object and act intentionally. As he uses the senses, so he cannot gather experience, earlier experience, so it is new to him, and he simply as he touches or he feels, he can recognize. Then pre-operational period, which is from 2 to 7. At that particular stage, what happens? Child become egocentric. Egocentric means they feel like whatever they are feeling, suppose he is feeling pain, he will feel as if all are feeling pain. Whatever he is feeling, he will think all are feeling the same. Then next character is given, begins to use language. Yes, classify object by single feature. Yes, think about things symbolically. Irreversibility of thought, these are the characters. Irreversibility of thought means suppose ice and water is kept here, and we can think that ice can be converted into water and water can be converted into ice, but he will think these two things are different. Next one is concrete operational stage, which is from 7 to 11. Logical thinking, recognition of numbers, mass, weight, classification, classifies object in orderly manner. Okay, you see, concrete means something which he experience by his hand or he can visualize. These things are concrete. Okay, so logical thinking starts from concrete operational period, but the difference between equation may come that from which stage logical thinking arises. This answer is concrete operation. In formal operation, what happens? Here the thing is abstract, that is imaginary logical thinking, but in concrete operation it is concrete thinking. Okay, whatever he can visualize, he can think logically. Then recognition of numbers. Yes, he recognizes the numbers. Mass, weight, classifies object in orderly manner. He can arrange in ascending, descending orders. Okay, here you see formal operation, it is from 11 to adulthood. Logical abstract thinking, as we have discussed, that it is abstract thinking, not concrete. Concrete is at concrete operational period. Then concerned with hypothetical and the future, he can imagine, he can understand the scientific hypothesis, etc. Okay, next we can proceed to the theory which is given by Vygotsky. His theory is known as Vygotsky'S socio-cultural development theory. He has actually focused on three important aspects. First one, social interaction, second, culture, and third, language. Okay, as we have said earlier, Piaget said what? Piaget said development, cognitive development leads to learning. Okay, here we will see that Vygotsky says that learning leads to development, that is LD, and Piaget said DL. Three aspects are social interaction, culture, language. He also used some terms. You can see here zone of proximal development, ZPD, scaffolding, and more knowledgeable other, that is short form is given MKO. These terms we can discuss these terms very easily. Okay, next slide I have put some images so that you can understand these things easily. First of all, what is zone of proximal development? Every individual can solve some problems by himself. Suppose this is the range up to which an individual can solve his problem. Okay. Next level, there is level that cannot be solved by himself. He needs some guidance, okay, so that he can reach at that level. This level is known as zone of proximal development. In other words, we can say the zone which we can attain by others' support. Okay, here you see swimming I have taken as example. We all can learn swimming, okay, but at initial stage we can't swim alone. We need to take some help from our parents or any guide. Okay, see here in the picture the kid's mother is guiding. She knows how to swim so that she can guide. So definitely she is knowledgeable other person. She knows how to swim, so he can teach him. She is here knowledgeable other person or MKO. And what she does, she gives little tips how to swim. She shares her experience so that you can learn. Then she provides scaffolding. Okay, so finally you can swim, you learn how to swim. That means here you see learning leads to your skill development. See, you are learning here how to swim, then you have developed your swimming skill. So according to Vygotsky, learning leads to development, and Piaget says cognitive development leads to learning. So it's clear. Now we can see what he actually said. Vygotsky said, Vygotsky actually focused on social interaction mostly. He says social interaction is the fundamental tool of cognitive development. Here community that you belong or I belong, our culture, our language plays the central role or an important role. By the help of all these aspects, social learning occurs, which leads to development. Okay. Here you see it is given social learning come before development. That means learning leads to development, which is opposite to Piaget. Both are correct in their perspective, both are correct in their way. Okay, none is mistake. not particular theory. You cannot blame a particular theory that it is wrong. Okay. How we can apply in our teaching learning process? Here you see, first of all, collaborate learning. Okay, learning by collaboration. Second, learning by cooperation. Third, assistive learning, that means to assist in assistance or help in learning process. Peer tutor means learning by tutoring by his peer groups. Here, reciprocal teaching, that means teaching process not unidirectional, it is multidirectional, where student also take active part. They also communicate, they also ask question to teacher, teacher asks question to students, and student among themselves also they ask question, they discuss. This is reciprocal teaching. Next slide. Here you can see difference between Piaget theory versus Vygotsky'S theory. Okay, we have primarily learned what Piaget says: cognitive development leads to learning, and Vygotsky says learning, social learning leads to development. Okay. Apart from these, there are some other differences. Sociocultural context. Here you see sociocultural, cultural and social aspects are less emphasized by Piaget. He said factors are biological maturation and environment. When we study about Vygotsky, he says social interaction, culture, language are very important source of development. So Vygotsky plays importance in socio-cultural context. Here you see constructivism, both are constructivist, but Piaget is cognitive constructivist and Vygotsky is social constructivist. Here you see stages. We know Piaget well defined 4 stages, but Vygotsky have not given any stages, because Piaget classified between age group up to birth to 2 years, 2 years to 7 years. This particular age group is classified, but Vygotsky haven't classified anything, so there is no stages. Key process in development and learning. Key process what are used by Piaget. Here you see equilibration, schema, adaptation, assimilation and accommodation. Okay, first of all, let's understand what is schema. Schema is pocket of knowledge, pocket of information, you can say. What is adaptation and what is assimilation? First of all, let's understand assimilation. Assimilation is that particular stage when we gather a schema or information. Okay, we collect any schema. Then what is accommodation? Accommodation when we apply that particular schema and accommodate ourselves. Our previous concept was that concept, and now we have gathered some new information and we have changed our concept. This is accommodation. And adaptation is next step when assimilation occurs, result in accommodation, and accommodation is completed, then we are adapted to that particular situation. And equilibration, which is equality, which is dealing with equality. Okay, suppose I have some information about Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is white in color. It is built up of marble stones. So I can imagine about Taj Mahal, and later I have visited Taj Mahal and I have found whatever I have imagined, and in reality it is same. So it is my thinking, and in reality both are equal. So I can say it is equilibration, and if it is not match, then it is de-equilibration or disequilibrium. Okay, here you see in Vygotsky's what he says, zone of proximal development, as we have discussed already, a particular area up to which to reach we need some support and guidance. He uses the term scaffolding, that means little tips or help, language, dialogues, tools of the culture. Okay, role of language. Here in Piaget you see he said language provides labels for children experience, and he used the linguistic concept very little, but in case of Vygotsky he thought that language plays a very important role, that is his aspect is major. Teaching implementations, here you see support children to explore their world and discover knowledge. Yes, Piaget says student need to explore the world and to discover knowledge in their own way, whereas Vygotsky says what? Establish opportunities for children to learn with the teachers and more skilled peers. Here some guidance is needed, some interaction is to be done so that he can acquire knowledge. Okay, next here we see Kholberg'S moral development. What is moral? What is morality? Morality, we simply understand that judgmental term which deals with what is right and what is wrong. So just as for summary, here it is being presented, you can understand very simply these theories are presented here, no complexity is made. So you can see Kholberg says there are three levels. First one is pre-conventional, second one is conventional, third one is post-conventional. Again he divides this each levels into two stages. Okay, so finally it stands 6 stages and 3 levels. We have we are able to see here, first one is pre-conventional. You can divide this 3 level in 3 age group. First one is childhood, second one is adolescence, and last one is adulthood. Okay, so at initial stage what happens? First stage is given under pre-conventional, punishment and obedience. Okay, here you see initially there is no idea about the right and wrong, which activity is right and which one is wrong by a kid. So he simply can understand about punishment and he obeys the rule. Suppose for example in school, if children do not do his homework, then he will be punished by the teacher. So he will do his homework. As he have no knowledge about that which process is right or wrong, he directly thinks that I will get punished, so I have to prepare for my homework. Okay, so the determinants here you see, right and wrong is determined by punishment. He has no experience and no knowledge about anything else which is right and wrong. He only thinks about I will receive punishment, I will get punishment if I do not obey. Okay, next one is instrumental relativist, aiming at a reward, tit for tat. Okay, this is particular. Suppose in exam it may be given as a stage in the name. These all are similar things. Suppose the stage name in instrumental relativist is of which level, or it may be given the stage aiming at a reward at which level, the stage tit for tat is at which level according to Kholberg'S. So the answer is same, and these things are very related. Here you see right determinants, you see right and wrong is determined by what they will get in return, what feel them equality. Okay, here you see they thinks about what they will get in return. Suppose you have said, if you can answer this question, I will provide you a trophy. Here the conditioning is he will be rewarded. Okay, this stage is this level is pre-conventional thought level. Again, here you see tit for tat. That means in many cases you see it happens in classroom. Suppose one student has broken a pen of other student, and he or she complains to teacher. Teacher, when investigate what happens, she found that the other student also have committed such activity. Either he has destroyed his copy or anything like that. So for thinking as he or she is getting justification equality, so he is going for tit for tat. You are destroying my one, I will destroy yours. Okay, in adults also it happens many a time. Suppose we have visited suppose you have visited a temple where you have kept your shoes outside, but when you came back and see your shoe is missing, at that instant what you will do? You simply take anyone else's shoe and came home. So this is, you have done what? You have not got your shoes, so you have just simply taken other shoe. Okay, this is tit for tat. Here you see next one is conventional, which is normally occurs at adolescence or at some time in adults also. Here interpersonal concordance occurs. Actually this refers praising. Suppose you have praised as children, you are very good, you are bad. This type of motivation, this type of reinforcement actually creates some moral development to him. This work is good, so this teacher is saying me good boy. Okay, suppose student will think, if I can answer the questions in classroom, so teacher will praise for me, he will say I am good. This type of moral thinking is interpersonal concordance. Next one is law and order. Here you see being good is now means doing good for society by obeying social rule loyally without any question. Here at that particular stage, what happens? The particular individual works for the society, obeying all the social rules and regulation and without putting any objection against them. Here next level is post conventional, which is given here 18 plus. Okay, here you see first stage is social contract. In determinants, it is written right and wrong now determined by personal values when feel law is not good for that situation can modify or ignore. Okay, here with an example we can understand. Suppose we all know we should speak the truth. This is our suppose a rule. At particular situation that arise, if you speak truth, then a particular person will be in very dangerous situation. So what you do, you simply tell a lie about that particular incident so that that particular person get relieved. This type of modulation or modification or ignorance is social contract. Next one is universal ethical principle. This one is deeply held moral principle. For example, here you see this stage is very deep. People at that particular moral developmental stage, people become selfless. For example, Mahatma Gandhi, Netaji Subhash Chandra Bosu, they had left their everything for the nation. Okay, that's all for today. Okay, I think you have understood the theories, and these are very simple theories. Do not try to complex these things. These are very simple. So I will provide the questions in the next session related to this theory, and I will try to cover 100% question which will be from this, and this particular question and answer by solving you will able to answer all the questions whatever given in your CDP portion from these theories. Okay, thank you all and have a nice time ahead. Bye bye.